The Houston Texans just got some news that's not going to make you feel very good about this coming week. I'm Jeremy Chuggs. This is Texans Today, and we're going to be breaking down all the latest injury news after DeMeco Ryans' press conference today, where he talked about Nico Collins, he talked about Christian Harris, and he talked about Joe Mixon. And none of the news that we're getting today seems to be that positive. But first and foremost, I know some Texans players watch my videos. Nico Collins might be one of those guys who does watch my videos. And if he comes across this video, I want him to feel the amount of support that this fan base has behind him. I want him to know that Texans fans have his back 1,000% no matter what. So, show some love to Nico. Go down and spam 12 in the comments section. Show my boy some love. He's one of the best wide receivers. No, sorry. He is the best wide receiver in the NFL. So show him that love. Show him that appreciation. And go down and spam those 12s down in the comments section. So, Adam Schefter reported it today. Texans now have changed Nico Collins' injury designation from day-to-day to now it is week to week, a sign that it could be tough for Nico Collins to play in this Sunday's game up against the New England Patriots. This is awful news for this Texans team and this Texans offense under Bobby Slowick. They've not been able to, get things going. They haven't looked as good as a lot of people thought they were going to. The one bright spot, the one amazing thing that this offense has been able to do so far is feed Nico Collins. He has been an absolute menace this season for the Houston Texans. He is the best player on this team, full stop. Nico Collins has been the lone bright spot on offense in times where this offense looked like it didn't know what it was doing. Now, CJ Stroud, I still feel comfortable with him in the receiving corps, even without Nico Collins. But still, if you're losing your best player, if you're losing your biggest playmaker on the offensive side of the football, it's going to cause some growing pains, and it's going to cause, some strains along this offense for the Houston Texans. DeMeco Ryans even said it at halftime during that Bills game. He said, not having Nico out there is tough. He's our guy that we can expect to take the top off of defenses, and he's the guy that defenses are scared about. So without Nico Collins, it's going to be a little bit more of a rough road ahead for the Houston Texans. We'll break down more around Nico and the other injuries in just a moment, but folks, this is why you hit that subscribe button. Whenever breaking news happens around this team, I got you covered all year long. Injury updates, I got you on the latest trade rumors, I got you on the latest free agency rumors, all here on the channel, 100% for free. So go down and hit that sub button or go to youtube.com/TexansTV for the latest around your Houston Texans. Now, I know it's just lip service, me saying that Nico Collins has been the best receiver on the team. So let's actually look into the numbers. He has one more catch than Stephon Diggs. Well, I mean, why are you saying that he's the best receiver on the team by far? Well, look at the other two categories. 567 yards and 3 touchdowns on the year for Nico. Stephon Diggs not having a bad year, 31 for 315 and 2 touchdowns. Tank Dell obviously has missed a couple games, and his stats reflect that. 13 receptions for 137 yards. I still believe Tank Dell is a really good receiver in this league, but the wide receiver one is undoubtedly Nico Collins, and not just on this team. He's the wide receiver one in the NFL. In terms of receiving yards this season, Nico Collins stands above the rest. He's above Jamar Chase with 493, above Justin Jefferson, above DK Metcalf, and above Jaden Reed. He has by far been the most electric receiver in the NFL this season. If the Texans are going to be without him for this week, not good news. Now, the only, silver lining here is you are playing the New England Patriots, and they have been a team that's not been very good this season. With that being said, every week you don't know what to expect in the NFL. Every week you can't, look at your opponent and say, oh, that's an easy dub. So the Texans need to come into this week with that mentality of saying, hey, this isn't going to be an easy game. I don't care what their record says. And if Nico Collins isn't on the field, you're going to have other guys who step up. Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, maybe the tight ends in Dalton Schultz and Cade Stover. Robert Woods, John Mechie, those guys are going to need to step up for this Texans team. Now, coming up in just a moment, I have some more injury news on Joe Mixon and on Christian Harris, but I couldn't do today's show if it wasn't for our amazing sponsors over at Prize Picks. Go get started today with America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. And I actually talked with our Saints host, Trace Gerard, who's going live tonight for that Saints-Chiefs game, and he gave me this Prize Picks that he played for tonight's game. They actually have a special deal on Derek Carr, 185.5 pass yards, actually discounted from the original amount. So obviously, we're going the more on that. Xavier Worthy, 4.5 rush yards. Andy Reid in this Chiefs offense, you know they like their trickery. You know they like to, have those jet sweeps, have those handoffs to wide receivers. So why not go the more on Xavier Worthy rush yards? And then Travis Kelce, 59.5 receiving yards. I never go against Travis Kelce because each and every week, he can prove to you why he is one of the best tight ends to ever play this game. So give me the more on 59.5 receiving yards. You can use my picks or go against my picks. Just do it over on Prize Picks. And I have a special deal for all my listeners today. Download the Prize Picks app and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. Now, a little bit of double dose of bad news for the Houston Texans in today's program. Texans coach DeMeco Ryans said that linebacker Christian Harris isn't returning to practice this week. He's still on injured reserve with a strained calf, and that is getting a little bit concerning because we have not seen Christian Harris at all this season with that strained calf, with that, soft tissue injury that he's been dealing with. And we've seen it before in the past with guys. Heck, we've even seen it this season with Joe Mixon, who we'll talk about later on in the program, in that these soft tissue injuries are fickle because you don't know when they're going to heal. There's no true timetable on a soft tissue injury because it's not like a broken bone where the doctors have a roundabout of, it's going to take about this long, or, an ankle sprain is going to take around this long to heal. Soft tissue injuries, it changes from person to person to person. You never know how long it's going to take. And Christian Harris, we've all been waiting for him to, come onto the scene this season because he ended last year fantastically. He had an amazing playoffs for the Houston Texans. Now, Henry Toto has stepped up really good. He's played very well in Harris's absence, but that still doesn't deny the fact that we want to see Christian Harris because he's supposed to be one of the better linebackers on this team. Hell, we all thought that he was going to be the best linebacker on this team at the start of the season. So not having him again in this week, it's a little troubling. I want to hear from you, though. Are you worried about the Christian Harris injury? We still haven't seen him, and it sounds like we're not going to see him this week. Let me know down in the comment section. Give me a yes. Give me a no. Are you worried about Christian Harris? I'm not worried. I know I just had that whole spiel about, we haven't seen him and the soft tissue injuries. But I truly do think the Texans are trying to just play it on the safe side, knowing that their toughest part of the schedule is at the end of the year. And they want to be healthy come playoffs because last year, going into the playoffs, the Texans had a ton of injuries that they had to deal with. This year, they want to be as healthy as can be because they truly believe they can contend in the AFC to get to the Super Bowl. That is their final goal. They know that they have a good shot to make the playoffs in the AFC South with where they stand and the other teams and how well they've been doing this year. But once you get there, what are you going to do once you make the playoffs? The Texans want to ensure that they are at 100% or as close to 100% as they possibly can be once they get to the playoffs. So I'm not too worried with the Texans saying, hey, we want to play it safe on the injury side and not push our guys to come back to make sure they are 100% and not re-aggravate any of those injuries. So that's why I think DeMeco Ryans is playing it safe with Christian Harris. Same could be said around Joe Mixon. He was practicing the Friday before that Jaguars game, and he was jumping around. He looked pretty good. But DeMeco said he's still being evaluated, and it's going to be week to week. Definitely improving. We can see where he is as the week goes. So I think that's coach speak for, we'll see once the weekend comes, but I'm not promising you anything, which I understand that, where this is another injury that I'm a little worried about. And, we talked about Christian Harris not worrying about that injury as much. I'm actually more worried about the Joe Mixon injury because we talked about Nico Collins, how he's kind of the straw that stirs the drink for this Texans offense. Joe Mixon is the guy for the running game. Without Joe Mixon, the Texans running game has been pathetic this season. The offense is noticeably better with Joe Mixon. Cam Akers, he looked amazing in the preseason. So far in this regular season, he's been underwhelming, in my opinion. Cam Akers has been 3.9 yards per carry, 1 touchdown on the year. Agumbawale has looked okay. I mean, he's, serviceable, but as a lead back, that's not who he is. Agumbawale is a glue guy. He's somebody who helps you in special teams, helps you, a third down back, somebody who can come in, in short stints, but he's not going to be somebody who you hand the ball off to 20 times a game. That's just not Agumbawale's game. So I'm a little bit more worried about the Joe Mixon injury than I am about the Christian Harris injury at this point. But like I said earlier, you just got to stay tuned here on Texans Today. If you want more up-to-date news around your Houston Texans, you can follow me on Twitter at Jeremy Chuggs. And like I said, I'll be breaking these down in videos all throughout the week. The latest Texans rumors, no matter how crazy they are, I'll be breaking down here on the channel. Make sure you hit that sub button and make sure you never miss a moment of Texans football here on Texans Today.